Welcome back to the Federal. We're bringing you constant updates about the Maharashtra and the Jharkhand election results. The counting is on. The trends are coming in, and now, of course, the trends have also started to solidify. There looks like a saffron tsunami, a BJP tsunami in Maharashtra. Uh, the current tally puts the Mahayuti, which is the alliance of the BJP, Mr. Eknath Shinde's Shiv Sena, and Mr. Ajit Pawar's faction of the NCP at roughly 220 seats. That's an absolute majority, more than a two-thirds majority in a house of 288 MLAs. The combined strength of the MVA, the alliance of the Congress, Mr. Sharad Pawar's NCP, and Mr. Uddhav Thackeray's Shiv Sena together is just at 54, 53, 55. The figures are changing constantly, but it's not even crossing 55 seats, which would, of course, also mean that once that if at all these trends hold and convert into results, the MVA parties, the opposition may not even get the post of leader of opposition in the Maharashtra Assembly. But at this point, I want to discuss the one big question that everybody was talking about, which is whether this election will finally settle the question after the Lok Sabha results of who represents the real NCP, who has claim on the legacy of Sharad Pawar, and who will take forward the NCP set up by Sharad Pawar in Maharashtra. Remember that in the Lok Sabha elections, it was Mr. Sharad Pawar's faction of the NCP which had the best strike rate. They had contested on 10 Lok Sabha seats, they had managed to win 8. And Mr. Ajit Pawar was dealt a very, very severe blow. His wife, who contested from the family seat, the joint Pawar family seat of Baramati, against Mr. Sharad Pawar's daughter, Supriya Sule, had lost from Baramati. Mr. Sharad Pawar, Ms. Supriya Sule, they'd managed to retain the Baramati seat within their immediate family. And so in this election, there was a lot of interest on who, whether Mr. Sharad Pawar or Mr. Ajit Pawar, between the two, who is going to get a lion's share of the seats in which they are in a direct contest. And as things pan out, as per the leads as of now, it seems this is an election. Of course, this debate is not going to end on who represents the real NCP, but at least for now, it seems like Mr. Ajit Pawar has bounced back, and how. He was contesting on just about 45 odd seats. Out of those, he seems to have one of the best strike rates, like his uncle had in the Lok Sabha elections, because his party, the NCP of Mr. Ajit Pawar, is currently leading on 35 seats, including the Baramati Assembly constituency, where Mr. Ajit Pawar is leading comfortably with a margin of over 20,000 votes at the moment. That margin, of course, the final vote might change, but it's unlikely that he will now lose that seat. He was pitted against Mr. Sharad Pawar's grandnephew, Yugendra Pawar, his Ajit Pawar's elder brother's son. And many thought that, like the Lok Sabha results, the Baramati Assembly seat will also emphatically vote in favor of Yugendra Pawar, because Yugendra Pawar comes from Mr. Sharad Pawar's party. But that is not happening. In fact, Mr. Sanjay Raut of the Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray faction, has come out and issued a statement saying there is something terribly wrong with these results. Mr. Ajit Pawar's party cannot win so many seats. It's very surprising. But whether it's surprising, not surprising, how this has come to pass, of course, all of that analysis will happen later. at this point in time, and if these results, these trends hold, if these trends convert into results, uh, Mr. Ajit Pawar seems to be moving ahead to claim that the NCP is now his party, it is his brand. And through this campaign, he'd actually been given a sort of you know, a hit on the knuckles by the Supreme Court, because the Supreme Court had told him that if you are leading your party, why are you relying so heavily on Mr. Sharad Pawar? Because there was this argument from Mr. Sharad Pawar's party. They had asked the Supreme Court to restrain Mr. Ajit Pawar from using Mr. Sharad Pawar's photograph, from using references to Mr. Sharad Pawar and claiming his legacy in their election speeches. And Mr. Ajit Pawar was told that you're not going to use posters, images of Mr. Sharad Pawar. So, despite all of that, if he is now leading, his party is leading on 35 seats, Mr. Sharad Pawar's party only on 14 seats. They had contested 86 assembly segments. Out of those 86, they're only leading at the moment in 14 seats. That's a huge route for Mr. Sharad Pawar's NCP. He's considered to be the Chanakya of Maharashtra politics. Everybody, whether it was from the BJP or from the Congress or from Eknath Shinde's party or from Mr. Ajit Pawar's party, everyone had their eyes on what is it that Mr. Ajit Pawar is going to do. What are the tricks that he has up his sleeves for this election? How will he turn this around? Well, he doesn't seem to be turning anything around at the moment. The MVA not crossing 55 at the moment, as per the trends as of now. Mr. Sharad Pawar's own party completely decimated. Most of his stalwarts from the NCP trailing at the moment. So, not a very good day for him. And of course, the big question of who has claim to the NCP brand in Maharashtra politics, at least for this election, that seems to have been settled in Mr. Ajit Pawar's favor, as the trends right now at this hour suggest. We'll of course have to wait and see how they finally, convert into results. But given the kind of leads, the kind of margins that the NCP candidates are leading by, it looks unlikely that this image is going to change.